Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is December 20th. Slightly early. We are here. December 20th. 5 more days until Christmas. I mean, this time of the year just flies by, huh? It's just here and then it's gone. That quickly. Here and then it's gone. 9:07 a.m. Central Standard Time. Beautiful 47 degrees outside. A little crisp. It's starting to get a little too warm for my liking. Like, it's supposed to be like in the upper 60s over the next few days. That's a little too warm for Christmas for me. Thankfully, it drops into the 50s on Christmas Day, but, I want it to be cold. That's just the reality of the situation in hand. I want it to be cold. Oh, we had a great slate of basketball games last night. And again, it kind of reinforces the vision that other people have had, but I have started to see through and through. Cut the league, cut the schedule, 82 games, cut it down to 72, figure out a way to do it, take 10 games off. That'll keep the same spacing, like have it start mid-October, have it end in April or whenever it ends, but spread the games out more. 5 or 6 games a night instead of 12. That way, when nights like this happen, where there's 3 incredible games, you can watch them instead of having to bounce back and forth between, 12 different games. And, you could cut out back-to-backs entirely because it does sort of dilute the product. Now, that could be hard. Now, I was thinking about this. How could we format this? Well, I thought, how about all right, Monday and Wednesday nights are Western Conference nights. Like, Western Conference teams go up against Western Conference teams because you still have to play your division a certain amount of times, whatever the case may be. Tuesdays and Thursdays can be Eastern Conference nights. And then that can leave you, where the weekend, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays can be the cross-conference game. I don't know. Make it kind of more of an event, if that makes any sense at all. Like how, before baseball changed the rules for the DH, NL playing the AL was a fun thing. It was holy shit, here we go. Interleague time. But that's obviously because the rules were different. But Eastern Conference team playing Western Conference teams rarely ever happens. So you could kind of make some fun with that. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think how we could do it. But shorten the schedule. Keep the time frame the same for how long the season lasts. But shorten the schedule. That way we can space out games. And there's not 12 games a night. Because this was a great slate of games. Incredibly fun to watch. And now tonight, we have 14 fucking games. Every team in the league plays damn near. We have one back. The Celtics are on a back-to-back. Who else is on a back-to-back? Is that it, really? Just the Celtics? Okay. I guess I'm wrong. But, again, it's a huge slate of games. You can't watch all of these. You can't watch all of these games. It's serious. And part of it is because they're so terrified of the NBA or the NFL. So they try to purposefully avoid Thursday nights, Monday nights. I guess not Monday nights. Monday nights are usually pretty. But they try to avoid, the Sunday games, Thursday games. And that leaves weird scheduling stuff. Man, who gives a fuck? Seriously, who cares? Yeah, John Morant. I mean, we have to start. We have to start with this game right here. I tweeted out. I mean, how big was the Pelicans' lead? They were up by a good amount. 24. The Pelicans blow a 24-point lead in this game. I tweeted out when this was a 24-point game, and Jaren Jackson Jr. was on some absolute bullshit. Desmond Bane was on some absolute bullshit. I tweeted out, man, Chris Verdon. I listened to the mismatch. Very rarely do I listen to that show anymore, but I listened to the mismatch yesterday, and they were talking about John Morant coming back. And Chris Vernon said, I forgot the exact record, but he said that he thought that the Grizzlies were going to go. And by the way, I respect this. I was just saying, I thought it was funny that he said it. I'm not, shitting on him for believing in his team, but he said he thought the Grizzlies would go 37-20 in the final 57 games. 37-20, which is still insane. I'm not overreacting to one win, but still absolutely insane to think a team could go 37-20 over the final 57 games. But holy shit, John Morant was incredible. Absolutely incredible. I need to pull up just some highlights, man. That was really fun. Like, it was really fun watching John Morant back. A disastrous loss for the Pelicans. Again, like, who knows who the hell they are? I have no clue who they are. Like, beyond injuries, because, I mean, who are they even missing in this game? Anyone? Like, they were pretty much healthy in this game entirely, right? Pretty much entirely healthy. Who are they as a team? I have no clue. Genuinely. One night they look great. They look like world beaters. The next night they look fucking pathetic and embarrassing. Like, what is this team? This is just who they are? Like, night to night? No clue who the fuck they are? Okay. I guess. Kind of weird. Kind of strange. He's also, I think, handled this really well. Like, this is just gonna sound weird to talk about it like this, but his like post game interview, I think the way he's handling this is really good. You know, he's accepting responsibility, but he's also still him at the same time. Did that make sense? Like, he does feel sincere. Let's fast forward to the second half. That was a nice pass by Zion. But yeah, like still being yourself, incredibly important, because he is one of the most marketable players in the league. I mean, let's just hear it. That's why he got suspended as long as he did. The NBA needs him. They need him. You understand? He's the future face of the league. Yeah, Desmond Bane figured it out in the second half. He was on some absolute bullshit in the first half. I was getting very annoyed. When he gets to his spot, he hangs in the air. The elevation he gets, you know, because he's not 5'10", but you know what is he, like 6'1", 6'2"? I mean, he's not the tallest guy. But when he gets into the paint, he just gets he gets so much elevation. It does like hook shots. It's almost like a big is shooting them, if that makes sense. Like his release point and everything. Like, oh, that was disgusting. Brandon Ingram went off for this game too. This was a fun little duel between Brandon Ingram and Ja. I think most people kind of expected it to be Brandon Ingram in the second half. 7 of 8. 7 of 8 in the second half with 22 points. Ja Morant in the second half. 27 points. 27 in the second half on 9 of 16. Absolutely insane. Yeah, he scored 34 points in the game. So he had 7 points in the first half. Look at him. Defense. Hustle. That's swagger. It's nice to have it. You see what I'm saying? Look at that. That's like a Biggs release point almost. And this was just a crazy back and forth the final like 60 seconds of this game. Valanciunas enforcing his will down low. The Grizzlies going small. Tillman's the 5. I mean, that's just unbelievable, man. You send help. Like, you sent a body at him. Zion came to help. That just should not be. What the fuck? ESPN, please. That's unbelievable, man. That's just an unbelievable finish. Herb Jones has been great at the rim, feels like. At least whenever I watch Pelicans games. How do you not show the full final minute? I know it's a highlight video, but insane, dude. Like, you know exactly what he's doing. How are we not just building a fucking wall? Like, there's no way. If John Morant beats us on a jumper, hey, cool. You know, as John Morant would say, he's him. Tip your cap. How are we letting Ja? I mean, I know Dyson Daniels like there in the gaps, but great spin. You know, Trey Murphy, get up, man. Vince Williams beats you on a 3. So fucking what? How do you let him get to this spot? Game over at that point. I mean, that's easy for Ja. That's easy for Ja. What a game, though. What a game. Again, 27 points in the second half for Ja. And Brandon Ingram went off, too. Both had 34 points. It's a fun game to watch. Zion, 5 of 12. Oh, Zion played. Hardly fucking noticed yet again. There's no clue what to make of this team whatsoever. No clue. They blew a 24-point lead. They went on a 30-3, 30-6 run. Something insane like that. Where it looked like they just blew the doors off the team. And yet they still lost. Who knows? Who knows what to make of them? Grizzlies now 7-19, creeping on up. I still think they dug themselves too deep of a hole because they pretty much have to be perfect from here on out. Spam risk. God, what's the deal with all these spam calls lately? Get it together. You had so many A1s in that game? Yeah, because he's an unstoppable freight train. You see Ja do that as a 6'2 guy? It just makes you look at Zion sometimes just like this. What's stopping you from imposing your will every fucking night like that? Seriously, what is? What is stopping you from just saying, get the hell out of my way? I don't care. You're gonna have to literally line up every single defender pretty much in the paint in order to prevent me from getting there. Chili cheese tots. Oh, chili cheese tots. Speaking of chili cheese tots, do you guys fuck with Sonic food? I don't think I do. I haven't ate there in years. It feels like, you know, used to eat there almost out of necessity. You know, like playing sports or something. It felt like one of those places you would go to. But I haven't really ate there and have never wanted to eat there. The reason why I say that is chili cheese tots has fuck with any food that has oil, to be fair. You're a fried food guy? Ice cream if I'm out, but that's something I always got in my fridge. No one likes Sonic. I don't know if I've ever met somebody who likes Sonic. But then every time I drive by Sonic, it's always packed. So someone's lying. Who is it? Probably everyone always says they hate Arby's. Arby's is still in business. Someone's lying. Everyone says they hate Long John Silver's. They're still in business. Someone's lying. Long John Silver's is absolutely psychotic. You eat there, you're absolutely psychotic. Genuinely. So this was a great game. Should we do a subreddit check? Because I was monitoring the Pelican subreddit, and man, it was actually pretty much every single team that lost last night was in crisis mode in their subreddit, with the exception of the Spurs, because they got their asses kicked. Wemby wasn't playing, you know, whatever. Who gives a shit? Suns subreddit, crisis disaster mode. Celtics subreddit, believe it or not, crisis mode. I think it's probably a little bit worse. It's probably a little bit worse for the Warriors because they always fucking lose to the Celtics. I'm sure that stings anytime you lose to them, but the North loves Arby's. I mean, my dad and my grandparents love Arby's. So that's who eats at Arby's. Maybe it's an older person thing. Let's see what the Pelicans are talking about. Mavs fans pushing that crazy D-Book bad point guard agenda, which, to be honest, he has been okay at times. at point guard? No, I mean, he's completely fine. I mean, it was ridiculous to suggest that he was the best point guard in the league. But no, he's been fine. We'll talk about that game here in a bit because I just finished watching it. And I do have some opinions on it. We just blew a 30-6 halftime run. That's the run they went on. 30-6 run. They were up by 24 points. I mean, they want Willie Green gone. Like, I don't know. This would be a fun little thought exercise. Just to do some research, feel the temperature of each team in the league. Try to figure out which team wants their coach fired the worst. Because, if you're just like a Mavs fan and, you only really watch the Mavs and follow the Mavs, you might think that it's the Mavericks. It's not the Mavericks. I promise you that. It is not. They might not even be in the top half. Seriously. Pelicans want Willie Green gone so bad. Pelicans fans. I don't know if I've ever seen a conversation from Pelicans fans that isn't revolving around firing Willie Green. Lakers fans. Darvin Hamas. I mean, they literally call him Darvin Hamas. They want him gone. That was just two examples. I'm trying to think of other ones. This teammate serious yet? Oh, Suns fans hate Vogel, by the way. Suns fans absolutely hate Vogel. This teammate serious yet? Ingram gave us this game on a silver platter and they smacked it out of his hand. I'm laughing seeing the Pels promote Zion. And this is starting to get a little bit sad too because Pelicans fans, I think, are starting to grow tired of Zion, which is always a bit sad whenever you can see a fan base kind of turn on one of their players in real time. Pistons fans, yeah. Monty Williams, obviously. Pistons fans hate him. Oh, Bucks fans hate Adrian. They hate him. A lot of things to talk about, but watching Zion off ball can be so painful. But are they saying defensively or offensively? Because I actually think Zion might be the worst defender in the NBA. I mean, just from where we are at this point in the season, like, I'm talking big minutes. If we're talking like big minutes, star level players, Zion, I think, is comfortably the worst defender in the league in that group. And that's like a big group now. Warriors fans do hate Steve Kerr. They do. That's true. Try to say, but my favorite game this year was the Borrego game. They do have Borrego on their assistant staff. Hey, that's not a bad interim coach. James Borrego? You do way worse than that. Tie game, 30 seconds left, and Willie doesn't call a timeout. That's always such a can't win situation for a coach. I feel like. I'd have to go back and look at the play. I mean, this guy says they got a wide open shot, but I got to be real. Like, I don't know. Did not calling a timeout at the end of games thing. It's funny because Taylor Jenkins, the Grizzlies called a timeout. The Pelicans missed a shot. There's 9 seconds left. Ja has it. The Grizzlies call a timeout, and Ja's pissed off that they called a timeout. So it's like you really can't win. Call a timeout. Don't call a timeout. If you don't call a timeout and your team goes down and scores, you look like a genius for not calling the timeout, letting your team get out and run. If you do take a timeout and, you don't score, then you look like a fucking idiot. Oh, why don't you just let them go out and run? They had numbers advantage. They had the ball. They were pushing it. How long before they fired Monty? So I thought it was impossible, like just straight up impossible. They made him the highest paid coach in NBA history. And then Michael Malone got paid more than that pretty much right after. But $80 million? I thought there was no way. But honestly, if this losing streak gets like 30, don't you like have to do something drastic? Like you can't just like leave a 30-game losing streak and just be like, oh hey, we're good. All right. We're fine. Let's keep it rolling, baby. Like, I feel like you almost have to do something. Trade someone, fucking do something. And to be fair, Jason Kidd, the only thing I feel he's still Just can't seem to figure out is when to call timeouts to stop extended runs. Outside of that, kid has been fine this year. Yeah, I like it's hard. I don't like getting mad at the end of game timeout things because that is just like it's a lose-lose situation. It feels like you're never going to get it right in the eyes of the fans. But yes, the kid has to start calling timeouts during. He just like sometimes it can get a little out of control. I feel like he's been better at that lately, though. Like he's been using his use it or lose it timeouts. He used to never use those. Team can't close games. Could easily be 21-7 or better. So many big leads wasted. Trey played 20 minutes. Yeah, what I was actually wondering that. What was going on with the Trey Murphy minutes? Did they just not like what he was providing last night? 21 minutes. That feels criminally low for a guy like Trey Murphy. Are they like maybe easing him back a little bit? Is he on a minute restriction or something? I don't know. Yeah, Jordan Hawkins is getting DNPs, which is unfortunate because he's been good for them. I feel like he should be playing a little. Good for a rookie, I guess. I'll never forgive Kid for not calling a timeout when the Warriors went on that run in the second game of the Western Conference Finals. I feel like especially on the road, you got to stop them. So anyways, great game. I think I'll make a video about this later. I'm either making a video about Ja, which obviously, like, if I'm playing the algorithm game, it has to be Ja. But then I think about it, right? Because I do SEO work. That's what I do in my real job. If it's a little oversaturated, everyone's going to be talking about Ja Morant. So, you get kind of lost in the shuffle. But the Luka stuff works because I've already kind of established myself as the Mavericks Luka guy. So it works there. I'll have to think about it. Because otherwise, I really want to talk about Jeremy Grant. I think he's been fucking. All right, Spurs Bucks. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what the hell happened in this game at all. I know Wemby didn't play. I know Giannis had a 11-point triple-double. 16 assists, 3 turnovers. Dame dropped 40. That's genuine. I didn't watch a second of this game. So I didn't watch a second of this game. I can't lie about it. Can't even talk about it. I don't know what the hell happened. Damian Lillard goes off for 40 on a historic night. Okay, what was historic about it? Wait, what was historic about it? Oh, 20,000 point club. All right, well, congratulations to Damian Lillard. 20,000 points. Yeesh. Isn't Luka about to get 10,000? Am I wrong there? Luka's 99 points away from something. Is it 10,000? That's kind of crazy. 10,000 this fast for Luka? They were saying on the broadcast he's going to be like the third fastest ever to do it or something like that. 9,922? He can get that shit by this weekend. I mean, he probably will. Celtics and Warriors. Do we end with this game? Let's end with this game. Let's talk about the Suns and Blazers. Because this game was absolutely insane. I think the Suns were out in front by like 16 at certain points throughout the first half. They were up 16 at the end of the first quarter, but the Blazers outscore the Suns 38-20 in the third quarter. So everyone's laughing at the Suns. I did go back and watch this game this morning, just fresh in my brain. Their defense is it's not horrendous. It's actually like a little bit better than I thought it would be. But it's susceptible. Is that the right way to describe it? Like they're prone to giving up huge. I mean, they gave up a 38-point quarter to the Trailblazers. This is a really bad offensive team, the Portland Trailblazers. They gave up a 38-point quarter. I mean, you look at every other quarter for the Blazers, 20 in the first, 29 in the second. It's a high-scoring quarter, but 22 in the fourth. Like, they did a good job outside of that quarter. They are prone to these big runs where defensively, they drop pretty much every time with Nurkic. And when you have a guy like Anthony Simons who comes off those screens and pulls, a team can get red hot against you pretty quickly. And then just a lot of plays where the ball's moving for Portland and the Suns are just like lost. Like guys are wide open. There was one play in the third quarter where the Blazers are bringing the ball up the court. They haven't even done anything. Like there has not been a single action. There's been no screens. They're just literally walking the ball up the court. Jeremy Grant gets the ball. Nobody was within 20 feet of him. Eric Gordon and I think it was Grayson Allen are just standing on top of each other. Like in front of Anthony Simons. Not even really guarding Anthony Simons. Just standing there. And Jeremy Grant has just the most wide open three you've ever seen. Like just some very strange mental lapses for this team. And, for some reason I thought this said DNP mid-range, not migraine for KWHD app. I was like, mid-range? DNP mid-range? Like he took a mid-range shot that Vogel didn't like last game and they yanked his ass? That's what I thought that meant at first. I was very... The Mavericks are going to scoring 140 if Kyrie's back on Christmas. Yeah, I mean, that's what I worry about greatly with this Phoenix team. Cleaning the glass, they have the 14th best defense. Watching, I mean, it doesn't feel that great. It feels like any team that has a great pick and roll ball handler or any team that has just a great isolation guard is going to be licking their fucking chops playing this Phoenix team. And oh, wait a second. That's the Dallas Mavericks. And then offensively, I'll just say this. Everyone was shitting on Devin Booker. They have some very ugly looking possessions. Like they just do. They have some very ugly looking possessions. There was one that was going around where Devin Booker is literally just dribbling the ball, or not even dribbling. He's just facing up for the entire shot clock and then throws up some horrendous contested mid-range shot that was an air ball. But I don't know. I thought they shot 21% from three. Like they were just missing shots. It sucks for them because this is what they do. They're a mid-range dependent team that doesn't get to the rim very much and relies on KD or Booker going crazy from on these like little pull-up mid-range jumpers. And when they go in, they're nice. It's like aesthetically pleasing, but when D-Book's 11 of 25 and he's really that shot, he's struggling to get that shot to go. It's tough. It's tough for them to win. Because they're kind of Dallas Mavericks coded in a way where you have your like really great individual offensive players. Now I will say like Luka is better offensively than KD, better offensively than Booker. I know I know that sounds insane because Kevin Durant's a top 3 offensive player ever maybe, but like what Luka does on a nightly basis, being the engine, I think is better. People shit on Luka for being a ball hog, but he puts his teammates in the best positions possible every single time. But if Kevin Durant or Devin Booker aren't going, and Devin Booker was not very good in this game, you're really reliant on these role guys who are just kind of like super hit or miss. It's very similar to what the Mavericks have going on. Like if you get a shitty night from the role guys, you need your star to really pull you out the mud, and that did not happen last night for Devin Booker. KD was good. But then it got into like a weird math game. Like the Suns just weren't hitting threes, but they weren't shooting threes. And they made like a nice little run there at the end. The Blazers had like a 12-point lead at one point, 14-point lead maybe in the fourth quarter. And the Suns made a nice little run. Their defense clamped up. I think they only allowed 4 points in the last 4 minutes or something like that. And they got it to within 3 before Anthony Simons just hit a crazy shot for the dagger. But it was just, they were down by 14. And at some point, you need to hit a 3. At some point, if you're trying to come back from that big of a hole, like late in the fourth, you got to start knocking down threes. And they're just mid-range. And to their credit, they actually were getting to the rim towards the end there. But a lot of that was like Portland was like, all right, no threes. We can give up a layup. We're okay with that at this point. I don't know. They're a fucking weird team. Their subreddit is in pure meltdown mode. Like The Pelicans are top 10 worst teams to have the Pelicans in national television. I mean, the Pelicans are having a meltdown mode, but the Suns subreddit. I mean, I saw we suck. Fuck this team. I hate this team. Blow it up. I saw a few blow it ups. I saw Kevin Durant has to leave. Are they the Dallas Mavericks? And I saw a tweet, Flex from Jersey, who's like a big Phoenix Suns guy. Like, guys, calm down. The Suns had this same exact thing happen last year. If you remember, that is true. They were like below 500 at one point, but just because they were without so many guys. Devin Booker was out. Chris Paul was out. Cam Johnson was out. Ayton this time. It feels different this time around. Like that time around, you could really just be like, hey, we're so injured. It is what it is. This time around, it's like, dude, you're going to be injured all fucking year. Like, you just are. Bradley Beal is a walking injury at this point. It is sad, but it's true. Kevin Durant's having to play 40 minutes a night to pull you out the mud against the Portland Trailblazers. He's going to be like, hey, I'm not wishing this will happen. I'm not, happy that it's going to happen, but it's just reality. Kevin Durant's going to miss time at some point. Like, that's just, he's been too injured lately. He's getting up there in age. He's playing too many fucking minutes. Like, he's going to be dealing with something at some point. Book's already been dealing with stuff. So the injuries you're facing right now are going to be injuries you're facing throughout the remainder of the season. Nurkic, too, hasn't really been hurt yet. He's always injured, so that's right down the road. Nurkic was a beast on the glass this game. But, man, like, all of the stuff you're struggling with, like, you're going to continue to struggle with. That's the problem. Let's look at the Suns subreddit. Oh, here we go. I mean, this is the top upvoted comment. Our team is fucking trash. Damn, they've lost 7 of their last 10. For those keeping track at home, remember, they went on like a 7 or 8 game winning streak at one point. The only wins to come in December are against the Hospital Grizzlies, the Warriors who needed MMA Draymond to get ejected. That's right. That's true. And the 4-win Wizards barely won. Yeah, they like had to fight tooth and nail to get a win against the Wizards United. Yikes. They've had the second easiest schedule this season. I mean, yeah, that's been like the thing with those Suns, right? Go look at their record against teams above 500. They are 12-4 below 500 and 2-9 against teams that are above 500. And I'm actually interested. What were those 2 wins? The Warriors, the Warriors are below 500. What were those 2 wins? The Knicks. Oh yeah, Devin Booker had a buzzer beater. So the Knicks and the Timberwolves, they got a winning. Ugh. Yikes. Am I tripping, or did the Suns choke in the playoffs? What, last year? You're talking about last year? No, not last year, honestly. Like, they were outmatched by the Nuggets. They needed 2 like insane Kevin Durant and Booker performances to even win 2 games in that series. And they got blown out in the other 4. Suns trading for Beal and him being injured is an excuse for Phoenix. He's been hurt for 4 seasons. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, last year, you could kind of be like, dude, we're so injured. Like, once these guys get back, we'll be fine. This year, it's like, Bradley Beal's hurt? Yeah, guess what? Bradley Beal's been fucking hurt since 2019. Oh, Kevin Durant's going to miss some time. Yeah, Kevin Durant's missed time since 2018, whenever that was. Gee. Lost to one of the worst teams in the league with a 40 piece from KD. This team is ass. Oh. I love the title of this post-game thread. You told me 3 months ago that the D-backs would make the World Series and the Suns would be a 500 team. I wouldn't believe it. This shit isn't funny. Ishbia wanted to bring the fan base closer to the team, but I feel like I never saw our fan base so distant from a Suns team before. This team is so boring. No identity, no energy, nothing. Oh, interesting. Who told all of you? Everyone tried to warn you. This new owner shit is not that fun. The new owner comes in. He thinks he's a fucking hot shot. We're going to go trade for Kevin Durant. We're going to do all of these things. We're going to trade for all of these players. Did this team build what was really a championship core? Yeah. We're burning that core to the ground to go out and get Kevin Durant because we want Kevin Durant in the building. We want to say we traded for Kevin Durant. We want to put Kevin Durant on our promotional, posters. We want jerseys. We want to do all of this shit. It's a disaster. Suns are getting embarrassed on Christmas. Bally has a book. Are you kidding me? Bally has a fucking sports book. Vogel is trash. Told you guys. The Pistons haven't won a game since the D-backs won game 2 in the World Series. That is great. Very apparent Book is not a point guard. We don't have a floor general. It's why our offense struggles so much. Spurs defense is obviously a whole separate issue. It's kind of very playing point guard is it's a lot more than just passing the ball to an open guy. Think about like the Utah Jazz. Obviously, it's a weird comparison, but like they had one of the best offenses in the league last year. That's why like they were such a big surprise. And then they traded Mike Conley, and their offense fucking tanked. And their offense is terrible this year. Like having a point guard that does point guard level things. Very very important to a team. I think it's also a big reason why the Grizzlies, obviously they were super injured, but why they were as bad as they were before Ja came back, because they traded Tyus Jones, and who did they have filling in that spot playing point guard? And then Marcus Smart got hurt. That really fucked them even further, but how much better would the Suns be with Dante Exum as their minimum signing instead of Utah? That's actually a great. Yeah, like Dante Exum would actually be great for this Suns team. In levels officially 10. We fucking suck and changes have to be made. That's the funny thing too. You're done. This is your team. Your next big moves are blowing up this team. There's no big moves down the pipeline. There's really no moves at all. Like, genuinely, there's like next to no moves at all. You're done. This is your team. Allen in seconds for Caruso. You see what the fuck this fan base. I can't really like make fun of them because they thought they would get Beal for nothing, and they did get Beal for nothing, pretty much. We're definitely getting smoked on Friday and Christmas. We're legit the worst team in the West right now. All right, calm down. Seriously, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. You are not the worst team in the West. At this point, KD needs to demand a trade out to save this franchise from ourselves. Not a single team in the league would give anything worth a damn for him at this salary and age. Like, the most we'd get is firings, maybe one or two shitty picks. That's it. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but interesting. What would KD? KD would still go for a huge haul. Probably not as big as what you gave up to get him, which is crazy because you traded for him like 8 months ago. Can Phoenix trade KD? Anything that's not a 1-for-1 contract with the CBA rules? That's actually a good question. I don't know. Would it have to be the team that's trading for KD mainly? Yeah, I think it's about time to take a break from this team. This is what I tell the team sometimes, or tell fans. I decided we needed that. If they couldn't learn from squeaking by the Wizards, then they needed to lose tonight. Classic coping mechanism. We needed that loss. That was like the Cowboys. Who would they lose to before they lost to the Bills? I don't remember which loss it was, but it might have been the Cardinals loss. Like, yeah, we needed that one. Needed that one. The fuck does that even mean? Crazy. Shout out to the Blazers, man. I know their defensive rating is what? They're 17th in the league. That's actually not terrible for a team like this. Their defense feels better than that. They're third in turnover rate. When they clamp up, it's like it's kind of noticeable and impressive in some ways. Jeremy Grant, if Jeremy Grant is truthfully available at the deadline, he might be like a must get, in my opinion, for the Mavericks. I mean, there's other teams out there that could use a guy like Jeremy Grant, but if he's like actually available, and I don't know, maybe there's a world where the Blazers are like, we kind of like Jeremy Grant's veteran leadership, like we want to keep him. I could definitely see that. But if Jeremy Grant is actually available, yeah, the Mavericks need to fucking do whatever they need to do to get that. Like it's just perfect. I mean, he was playing defense on Kevin Durant, and I know Kevin Durant dropped 40, but he did as good of a job as you could have hoped for against KD. KD just gets into those zones, and it is what it is. But offensively, he's just been so impressive too. Anytime I watch the Blazers, like it's not like some ball hog black hole shit that maybe he was on a little bit in Detroit at times. He moves the ball. He plays within the flow of the offense. Do you think we have to give up to get him? Yeah, that's the question. I don't know. He might be like, I think a lot of fans think that he's just some like, oh, his contract is shit. Like, we shouldn't have to give up much to get him. I don't know. I don't know. It might be a little pricey to get him. He's been really good. He's been really good this year. Anthony Simons has been great too. I know 23 shots, 23 points isn't the best, but he's been good. Barry Walker was great off the bench. Matisse Thybulle's just been amazing. Like, that would have been perfect for the Mavericks. That one stings because he's been really good. And he's shooting threes. What is he from three this year? He's 41% from three on like 4 attempts too. So it's not like he's just like barely shooting. Luka, Kai, Derrick Jones Jr., Jeremy Lively. I actually think getting Jeremy Grant could allow you to start Exum. Although I understand you want to maybe stagger some minutes and stuff. I kind of like this Blazers team. I don't know what it is. I kind of like them. Anthony Simons has been great. Jaden Sharp got hurt in this game. Scoot had some pretty ugly misses and some ugly plays, but there's still some flashes from him that I like. I don't think Jeremy even cost picks. I don't know. So that's the thing. I have no idea what his market would be. I think he definitely would cost a first, if I had to guess. 2 firsts is maybe pushing. I mean, when the Blazers traded for him, the only thing they gave up was a future Milwaukee first. Yeah, Jeremy fits in pretty well to OKC. OKC is really like, if they want somebody, they'll get him. That's just where we're at. I've warned people about this. The young teams that have accumulated 1 trillion picks, the Thunder, the Magic, even like the Pelicans, the Knicks have a lot of picks to play around with. These teams are like getting to the point where they're going to start to want to make trades. And that kind of fucks over a lot of teams that don't have a lot of picks to trade around. Was Scoot the right pick? I feel like Miller would be great there. Well, Miller went before Scoot, so. I mean, Brandon Miller's been straight up better than Scoot. If you're an OKC fan, do you want a 4 or 5 next to Chet? I mean, ideally a floor spacing 5 that can rebound, but those are very hard to come by. Those are very hard to find. Chet's actually not done bad as the center though. I mean, KOC said Wendell Carter Jr. I have no idea why the Magic would trade him. Well, like a player like that makes a lot of sense. But again, why would the Magic trade him? I don't. Then the Celtics Warriors. Oh my God, what an insane game this was! What an absolutely insane game. Derek White was going out. Derek White took 18 threes. The Celtics as a team took 58 and shot 29% on those shots. Great. Steph with 33 was in foul trouble for the entire fourth quarter. And honestly, some kudos to him because the Celtics were just relentlessly attacking and hunting him the entire fourth quarter to try and foul him out. And he was like playing defense. He took a charge. I mean, he was kind of wilding out. But if I was Steve Kerr, I would say, hey, dude, can you like relax a little bit? We cannot have you fouling out of this game. But he had some crazy shots. Crazy shots this one. Play was good. Kuminga was good. Trace Jackson Davis was really good. I mean, he had a block on Jaylen Brown that was just fucking insane. Just snatched it. Jaylen Brown went up for a dunk, and he just snatched it pretty much out of the air. A really nice win for the Warriors. That could be like a season. I feel like they had to have a lot of things go their way in this game. But it'd be a really nice like season altering win. Where you look back to this moment, it's like, okay, that's where we sort of started to figure some stuff out. Who do you prefer as a future Mav, Wiggins or Grant? Jeremy Grant is just better at this stage. He's just better. Celtics, it's kind of similar to the Suns. Like, this always happens. And this happens all the time with the Mavericks. 3-point shooting teams, they don't shoot well. Everyone says their offense fucking sucks. This, that, and the third. It's just, you're going to have bad shooting night. Kind of feel like that's what happened to Celtics. Now, I will say this. This is what I've consistently said forever. If you think Tatum's a superstar, he's the worst superstar in the league. If you think, like, Tatum is, it's the Tatum line. There used to be a Paul George line. Whereas if you're better than Paul George, you're a superstar. If you're not better than Paul George, you're not a superstar. That's kind of where Tatum's at. I was looking at it, and I was jotting down names. I actually do not think Jason Tatum's been a top 10 player in the league this season. Like, fuck the MVP. Fuck top fives. Fuck, oh, is he better than Luka? Like, he's not even been a top 10 player in the league this year. He just hasn't. There's been a lot of great players. That's part of the reason why. I'm not convinced Tatum has been a top 10 player in the association this year. He offensively, if you want to consider him a superstar, which, you know, whatever. If you want to, okay, cool. If you want to consider him a superstar, he has the lowest lows offensively, I think, of any superstar. His shot diet is probably the worst of any superstar. He doesn't have, like, which is weird because he should. Like, he should be able to post up anytime he wants. When he goes downhill and attacks the rim, he pretty much gets whatever he wants. But he's, like, in love with chunking up horrible fucking threes. He loves it. I have no clue why. It's not a good shot for him at all. But he's enamored by it. He loves it. Has Tatum ever had a real point guard either, to be fair? Smart's an okay playmaker, but not that great. Brogdon, When Tatum's shot's falling, it's so fun to watch, though. The aesthetics are amazing for ESPN. It's just going to be a problem again. Like, he had like some great moments in last year's playoffs, but there's still times where it's like, okay, if you're a superstar, what's the shot you're getting late in the games? Do you have a go-to shot? Do we feel comfortable? The ball's in your hands. We're going to get a good look. Our superstar is going to get us a good look, whether that's a shot for himself or a shot for someone else. Like the little sidestep threes with a hand directly in your face. When they go in, yeah, it's great. Holy shit, what a shot. Like, oh my God. Like when in game 6 against the Sixers last year when he was just going crazy in the fourth quarter. Yeah, that was amazing. But like consistently, it's a bad shot for you. Would you trade for Cat in the offseason? Cat's been really good this year. I don't think the Timberwolves, unless they like really disappoint in the playoffs or something. I don't know. I mean, this guy's like Celtics. Celtics are 6-6 on the road. That's actually great. Celtics fans are freaking out, obviously, as you might expect. I don't know. I think they're fine. They just missed a lot of shots. They got some pretty good looks. Shit happened. But I never feel like uber confident that, okay, late in games, Tatum has the ball. Are we going to get a good shot? Like, do I like the shot we're going to get? Ultimately, no. 41 missed threes. Celtics franchise record. Damn. This is a top voted post on the Celtics subreddit. How many more times is Tatum going to freeze Brown out at the end of games? How the tables turn. How the tables turn. Derek White was tremendous. 3 blocks, 30 points, 7 of 18 from 3. 18 3. Still. He was really good. How long has KP been injured? He was just resting tonight, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure like they expect him to play tonight. But anyways, the sky's not falling for the Celtics. It's just they're still by far the best team. They have more talent than anybody else. It's just a little concerning. Like if you were to look at, all right, how does this team lose? Because let's just be realistic. The Celtics kind of look like they're in a class of their own at times. But how would they lose? Like let's just say, how would they lose? What would have to happen for them to lose in the playoffs? To be an earlier exit than we all anticipated. They get cold from 3, and your superstar like just isn't generating the offense that superstars are supposed to generate. Okay. That's like pretty much it. KP's injured. KP's out or hobbled with an injury. I take the Bucks over the Celtics to come out the East. I don't believe the Bucks defense really to like beat the Celtics. They're still really maybe. All right, let's look at the games tonight. The Mavericks play the Clippers. Clippers are 3.5-point favorites. Not telling you that that's juicy and you might want to get in on that, but that feels low. The way the Clippers have been playing and with how injured the Mavericks are, that feels a little bit low. It is Luka against the Clippers, though. You do have to factor that in. 8 games in a row for the Clippers. 8 wins. Jazz, Cavs. Markkanen and Mitchell. Revenge game. Hornets, Pacers. Heat, Magic. A lot of 6 o'clock games. Heat, Magic. That's kind of fun. Timberwolves, Sixers. That's pretty fun, too. Joel Embiid versus that defense. He's playing. All right. Knicks, Nets. Battle of New York. The Knicks just got off a crazy West Coast trip. Nuggets, Raptors. Yeah. Denver only 4.5-point favorite. What's going on there? Lakers, Bulls, Hawks, Rockets, Celtics, Kings. That's fun. Celtics on the second night of a back-to-back. That's a pretty fun. Somebody like questionable for the Nuggets. That feels like a low line. Aaron Gordon. Okay, I guess I kind of. All right, let's Celtics crushing Sacramento. I don't know, man. That's a tough back-to-back team. The Kings. Let's do an all-star vote. Let's do an all-star ballot. How do we want to do this? The first ballot, let's have it be a real one. Let's have it be a real ballot. And then we'll do like some, like biased one. Like get my guys in there. Get my guys in there. All right. Western Conference. Backcourt. Luka. Look at John Morant already up to the top. Oh, it's my point. Luka and Shea. Gotta be Luka and Shea. They've been by far the best. Right? I mean, is there any other argument? I mean, Steph will probably get the vote. There might be a world where Luka's not starting in the All-Star game. I would say it's not likely, but all right, forwards. Jokic, obviously. LeBron, obviously. And who gets that next spot? KD's been crazy, 31 points a game. AD's been really good, though, too. Kawhi's been playing out of his mind. What is FP? Oh, fantasy points? Is that like a good way to start? Steph going to be over Shea? I kind of want to give it to AD. Like, I feel like he's been that good. The Timberwolves having the best record in the West by far, not having a starter will cause their fans to riot. Well, they better start rioting because it's happening. KD, AD, or Kawhi. That's where I'm at. KD, AD, or Kawhi. Kawhi's been so good. There's some recency bias because he's been so good lately. LeBron has to be in the All-Star game as a starter. He's just been great. It's fucking LeBron James. Like, it's serious. KD's at 31 points a game. That's crazy. AD, 24 points, 12 and a half rebounds, and has been a dominant defensive presence. Huh. This is a toughie. This is a toughie. Kawhi needs to be investigated somehow and the rules change. He magically doesn't miss games. I mean, to be fair, last year he was like coming off of an ACL tear or whatever it was he was coming off of. Like, it kind of makes some sense. I'm going Kawhi. He's one of my favorite players in the league. One of my favorite players of all time. Let's do it. All right, in the East, what's the backcourt looking like? Yeah, it's kind of what I thought. A little bit of a struggle bus. Okay. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton has to be in there, right? Now, who's next? Trey has been great. Trey has been tremendous. I feel like I've been such a Trey defender. I feel like I almost have to rock with my guy. I feel like I have to rock with my guy Trey. But they've been so fucking bad. Like, the Hawks just, on principle alone, can they have an All-Star game starter? These are the correct 24 NBA All-Stars. All right, B-Dot. You went with KD. Luka, Shea, KD, LeBron, Jokic. I went with Kawhi over KD. I'm okay with that. Tyrese Halliburton, Trae Young, Tatum, Giannis, and Embiid. Yeah, I mean, yes, the All-Star game is in Indy, so Tyrese Halliburton. But I mean, Tyrese Halliburton deserves it anyways. Like, he's been the best guard in the East, probably. It's between Trey for me. It's between Trey. I don't think Donovan Mitchell's been good enough to be an All-Star game starter. LaMelo's hurt. I don't think Dame's been good enough to be an All-Star game starter, honestly. Tyrese Maxey has a great argument. Terry Rozier, hello. Brunson's got a great argument. Derek White has an All-Star case. I think that's kind of where the line gets drawn. I'm between Brunson and Trey. The toughie, man. I think Trey has to get in there. Honestly, he's been so good. I'm going Brunson. All right, front court. Let's see. Joel, obviously, and Giannis. Is there a world where we don't have fucking Tatum in there? Like, can we get to a point where Tatum's not an All-Star game starter? Is it possible? Scotty? Bam, unfortunately. I don't know if I can give that. It has to be Tatum. It has to be Tatum. I wish I could go with 3 guards that I can put Trey in there. Miles Bridges, countries are banning him from playing with the fear of how good he's been. Okay. Okay. Halliburton, Brunson, Tatum, Giannis, Embiid, Luka, Shea, Kawhi, LeBron, Jokic. What are Tatum's shooting splits this season? Uh, all right. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. If there was another front court player, Tatum's at 34% from 3, 47% from the field, 59% true shooting. So I mean, it's not terrible. Okay with the front court player I love. Bam is my guy. I just not an argument for Bam being better than Tatum though. Thing. I'm trying the first ballot. I'm trying to be fair and objective. Like it's going to be SGA Steph starting backcourt with Luka's top 3 MVP ballot guy. Yeah, I do think there's a world where Luka's not starting in the All-Star game, which I personally I don't really give a shit about at all. Like Luka's obviously going in the All-Star game, but I think there's a world like Steph's gonna get it. Luka doesn't even like Kirk didn't even get that many starts. Luka doesn't even try in the games. Yeah, that's very true. Honest to God, that is so true. I'd be pretty crazy with how he's been playing compared to Steph. I know, but I'm just telling you, like Steph's gonna get. Steph's like LeBron at this point. He's going to be an All-Star game starter. Stamp it in. Like it's between him and Shea, pretty much. All right, Tatum, fine. Force my hand. I mean, this is kind of a boring ballot, but this just feels. Kawhi is the only one. The last front court spot in the West and that second guard spot in the East. Those are up for debate, I think. Everything else is just pretty much set in stone. This is how it has to be. I'd be surprised if SGA gets more votes than Luka. Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely, I'm curious to see how it plays out. I'm curious to see how it plays out. Kim's just carrying. Got the Kardashian stands on his side. All right, guys, that was a slightly early episode today. Tune in tomorrow. Playback.tv/slightly biased if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're not watching this on YouTube, the Slightly Biased Clips channel, you can watch these re-recordings. Another great episode!